Hello guys. Hello guys. My name is Gaurav and I'm going to teach you how to host a contest on HackerEarth's admin panel. First of all, you have to log in on your admin panel using your registered email ID and the password which you've got from Hacker team. For example, I'm logging in through my own college admin panel into my college admin panel. Wait, let it log in. So for setting problems, firstly you have to select what kind of problems are you going to host. Uh, Mostly we are going to host programming problems. So you have to select algorithms on which your problems will be based. From here you can go to the recruiter home. Let's go to the recruiter home. Now the admin console has opened up. Select test. Let it open. I'm experiencing fluctuations in my internet speed, so pardon me for the long delays. Yeah, now it's open. Currently, I'm having two contests in the upcoming tab. I have 17 contests in the completed test tab, and I'm currently having two other tests in the drafts panel. So if you want to create a new contest, just go on create, click new test. It will ask whether you want to host an invite only test or public test. See, there's a difference between invite only and public test. The invite only test will be seen by only the people whom you invite. For example, if you send invite emails to the people on their email ID, only those people will be able to take the test. But if you're hosting a programming contest, we ought to make it public because we want all the developers around the world to participate in our contest. For example, I will give a name to the contest, that is sample test. I've selected the public mode. Now I'm going to create the test. The test will be created. Now we have to fill out some basic details about the contest. It is a description part. It is optional. You can fill out any details like how much the duration of the contest, like the number of problems in the contest, or the nature of the contest. Whatever you want to mention, you can mention it out here. Then you have to go to the test settings. In the test settings for hosting a college contest, you have to uncheck this open test. Then you have to select the date on which the contest will be being hosted by you. For example, I'm selecting 15th. You have to select the start time of the test. I'm selecting it 8. You have to mention the duration. For example, I'm mentioning the duration as 3 hours. Then you have to fill out these details, whether you want the contest to be eligible for participation only for a team, or the penalty times for wrong submissions. You can see the more details in these links. Then uncheck the don't list contest publicly checkbox, because you want to list the contest on the HackerEarth so that developers around the world will be able to see your contest and participate in it. Then click on the show leaderboard checkbox. Then save it. Now you can also change the link of the test. For example, if you want to set something like this, you can easily set it. Save test link. Okay. Save test link. Now you have option whether you want candidates to take a password protected test or without password. Mostly we will prefer a without password protected test for the developers around the world. Now you have to select the problem setters, the admins for the contest. Click manage admins. If you are the only one who is setting the problems and who is also hosting the contest, then you do not need to manage this all these things. You can simply select your name and save. Otherwise, I have certain more problem setters, that's why their names are being listed out there. Now you have to go to the questions but tab. If you are new, then you will not have any questions in your library. I have some certain questions in my library, so I can select questions from there also. But for the sake of this demo, I will try to tell you how to add a new programming problem. Click on add a programming question. Firstly, you have to give the problem name. For example, I am setting a sample problem for counting vowels in a given string. So I can give the problem any fancy name, or I can also give any sample name too. So I can give sample problem, or rather I can give it counting vowels. Now here is the problem statement. You have to mention the details about the problem, like what is this problem, what you have to do in this problem. For example, my problem is about counting vowels, so see what I am going to mention here. Something loaded up in between, so I'm again setting the problem. You can add certain more details, or you can write a story around the problem if you want to host a theme based contest. Anything you like you can add, but for the sake of the sample problem, I'm adding only these two lines. uh, you can first save the programming question from here. Now once the problem is set and saved, it will be visible under your this questions tab. Click on it. You will see the problem editorial portion where you can add the solution of the problem, which will be visible after the contest is over. You can Now in this problem statement we have to add three more things, that is input, output and constraints. You have to add the input tab. You have to tell your participants that how the input will come. For example, if the input is separated by spaces or by comma or by new line character, you have to tell the participant about that. So for example, in this problem I will be giving input in the form of a single line. A single line will contain only a single string, so I will give the input in the following way. Now this is my input specification. Now I will go to the output specification. Now you can also mention the constraints for the input. For example, if you have your string of maximum length 1000, you can mention it here. Now I'm over with the problem statement part. I have mentioned the input. the description, the constraint, and the output. Now here are two links for uploading the sample input and sample output file. You should upload multiple test cases file. For example, if you want to have a problem with around 20,000 or 10,000 test cases, then you can partition the test cases in multiple files. For example, if you have 3,000 cases in one file, 3,000 in another, and 3,000 in another, so that's how you can do the partition for the test cases. Currently I'm going to upload only a single file for the test cases, which will be visible here. These two links are basically for sample input and sample output. For example, if you want to tell your tell your participants that how the problem will be solved, so you can create a blank text file. For example, I'm going to create it on my desktop. I'm going to create a new text document. I'm going to open it. My input sample file, sample test case file will be like this. I'm going to save it. Now this is a sample input file. I'm again going to create a sample output file similarly. The first string was sample string, as I've wrote there. Now is some string. I have 1, 2, and 3. 3 vowels I'm having there, so I will print 3. In the second string I'm having again 1, 2, 3, and then 4. I'm having 4 vowels, so I will add 4 there. Now I will save this file. Now since I have saved both the sample input and sample output files, I will going to upload these files from here. It's sample input and this is sample output. Now both these files are uploaded, so I can save this question now. I've saved this. The question is updated. Now that was sample. Now you have to add the actual input and output files for which your problem will be tested for every submission. So again, I'm going to use those sample input and sample output file for the purpose, because making a test case file is similar to the sample input sample output file. Only the number of test cases will increase, rest all will remain the same. So I'm again using the sample input file and adding the sample output file. Now you are allowed to set the score for this particular file. For example, if a candidate passes all the test cases in the given file, the candidate will be awarded a partial marking of this much score. For example, 10. I have allowed the partial scoring system also. That's why this score is appearing. If I disable it, no score will appear here. So if you want your participants to gain partial marking, you should enable it and add partial scores for every test file. Now it is completely up to you whether you want to add multiple files or a single file. I have added only a single file, so I'm going to tell you how these actually work. Now you have certain advanced settings here also. You can log the submission, you can show the problem, the challenge. It is all up to you whether you want to customize it or not. For current purpose, I'm hiding it again. Now I have to set the maximum marks. So I added only a single input test case file and its score is 10, so I'm going to set my maximum marks as 10. Now you have the time limit. I want my candidate to the participant to solve this problem within 1 second, so I'm setting 1 here. Now you are free to choose the languages which you are going to allow for any participant to code in. I want my participants to code in only on C, C++, Python and JavaScript, for example, and Java. So I'm going to unselect all of these. Haskell, Lisp, I want JavaScript, Node.js. Then I don't want them to code in R, not in Scala, not in Rust, not in not in Pascal. Okay, now I want my participant to code in only these languages. So this will be done now. Now this is the tab for sample explanation. For example, I've added the sample input files containing the some string and another string as an input, so I have to explain also. See the explanation. Now this is we call a sample explanation for the sample input and sample output. You can also preview the text. You can also preview the text for the problem statement. It look like this. Great. Now we are ready to host this particular question. So I have saved the question. I can also try the question by clicking this link. It will show me actually how the particular problem will be shown on the test page. So it will be shown up like this. When I click it, this problem will open up like this. Okay. uh, so that's all for hosting a problem. You can add multiple problems similarly, and then you can go to publish test. You can publish by clicking publish, but I'm not going to publish this test because it's a sample test. uh, Thank you guys. If you require any sort of help, you can contact me.